Alright. I'm gonna try my darndest not to complain too much. This game has really, really emotionally drained me. And I was not expecting this at all. Like, when I started this game, nowhere in my wildest mind was I thinking, oh, I need to no-fall, speed run, and route things 3 times in a row. Like, holy heck. Okay, so yesterday, we finished Chasm, right? We did the grappling challenge in Chasm. 33 grapples out of 34. We finished Starhaven's grapple. We had to remind ourselves, jet boots all the time. I actually think that Ice Cave is going to probably be fairly easy since we have the jet boots. We can like gimmick stuff. I'm pretty sure like there's a lot of places where platforms are like broken and stuff. Maybe we can jerry-rig that. And then we did the grapple. Oh yeah, we did that grapple challenge. And then we did the no fall, which was fairly simple because Starhaven is super open. There's no like, there's an occasional headbutting, which, oh man, I can see it now. My blood is already boiling with the heckin' like headbutting. This game has challenged me so much because the way this game is designed, all the natural modernization controls with first-person platforming is just out the window. There's no like normalization of walking on uneven ground, like how collision models work. Oh man, it's been a struggle. So it's getting me some good night's sleep, I can tell you that. Like, I feel really drained after playing this. I forgot how terrible or how rare that I play these type of challenges now. Being consistently perfected is not my jam. So it's in an emotional state. So we did this, and then we actually got the time trial done for, we got gold times for Ice Cave yesterday with like 25 seconds to spare. And now we have 2 tasks left. We have to do the no fall, and there's one section on the Ice Cave. It's not an expected section that I thought I would struggle with. So we're gonna try the no fall first, and then the grappling. I think the grappling is gonna be the easiest. So we're gonna save the easiest last. If I were based on how more experience, if I would base it on how more experience guys make it work, they get efficient enough at it so they finish the recommended amount of work way sooner and then rest for the rest of the shift. Oh, I see. And there are enough nuances for optimizing the process, so even though the whole process is super simple, as a learning curve similar to mechanical intense video games, simple to learn, difficult to master, rest for the rest, absolutely. That's Worm, you've said it in a really great way that summarizes a lot of the talking points of the digression with just earlier. It's since you're a human being only has enough time in a day cycle, right? The minimum day cycle. It's all about liberating and becoming more efficient, liberating, taking on more load, becoming more efficient again, and then liberating all those times to constantly get more done. And when you're doing all of that, your learning curve goes down because you're constantly doing more. And more different things also lead to an increase, like a proficiency in learning curve. And that's kind of how I describe this. Like this experience, my learning curve is awful. And it's largely because I don't do this very often. And it's kind of fun. Like, I'm sure a lot of people are going to get me wrong on this. I haven't been this angry before. This game has made me so frustrated at myself. And it's been a while. It's obviously I've avoided or like I pre-selected out of this game. I basically got debated, actually. I thought this game was something else. Like, I was way off the mark. So it's kind of fun I'm angry, but I'm happy at the same time. Because games are still able to subvert my expectations. And that's when I get emotional. And when I get emotional, it means there are still exciting things. This one definitely is a debate. The game itself runs 2 hours. Like, the game itself runs 2 hours. Like, flat. Not even 2 hours. The rest, if you're doing it, like, unaided, it's at least 14 hours of routing. So, like, these times, I would say, to a person who doesn't do first-person parkouring at all, these times are so strict. Like, they are incredibly strict. It's to the point where you have to gimmick some of these things. And I wasn't expecting that. And then the other ones are not listed here. They're Steam achievements. The no fall would be my baseline. Like, you know, get through without falling. That's usually casual-centric baseline stuff. Where like, oh yeah, now try to get through it without falling down. It's like, all right, that's fine. Because if you look at these time trials, right? You don't have to go too long without falling. Basically combo breaking, right? Without combo breaking. But at least it's not timed, so the combo break is not too bad. On top of that, this game has another challenge, which limits the number of grapples you can do. And the grapples for these 4 up here, they have checkpoints, right, in this game. But it counts all your grapples when you fall. So when you fall down, you lose all those grapples and it sets you back and you almost can never complete the grapples. So what happens is the grapple challenge is a no fall challenge, but now you have to route and gimmick the game so that you have enough grapples. Because it took me so long to do Chasm because I just didn't know where I can like consolidate grapples. I just had too many grapples, and the requirements for the grapples are so close until the jet boots. Starhaven was easier because of jet boots, and I think Ice Cave is gonna be easy because of jet boots. You finally get another tool that's a little bit more reliable than running and jumping, and it's not a grapple. So I reckon the Ice Cave is gonna be pretty easy. So we're saving that last. And then you have time trials, which is everything else. Time trial, I actually found time trial to be easier than the grapple thing because you don't have to count grapples. You can just spam grapples. The hardest ones were definitely Sanctuary. This is when you didn't get like multiple grapples yet. You actually earned one of the grapples here. And in Chasm, you had to gimmick. Like, there was something that was clearly you had to go off the beaten path. Like, this isn't marked, but it's valid. And that's what allowed me to succeed. So it's rough. I'm telling you, I'm not cut out for this type of gaming. But today, I truly believe today is the day. Maybe. Alright. So we have to do no fall. Let's do the no fall challenge. And you hear the same... You want to... The icing on this, you can't skip cutscenes. Thankfully, Ice Cave doesn't have a cutscene where you just sit there and wait and hear the same dialogue. So that was extra endurance. That was like mentally exhausting. Thankfully, we're in a section where there isn't a cutscene that just breaks your cadence, because my attention span is not that good. Like, I literally fall out of it every time the cutscene happens. And every other level, there was a cutscene in the middle. Like, just slapped it maybe like a third of the way. It was rough. Oh.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me, alone in these cold, barren halls of ice. But Fred had been here, and now I could feel it. I was getting close. Something wasn't right. The grapple device's energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I had to look for areas where the ice was not so thick. This was going to be a challenge. When I drained the crystal, I suddenly felt the earth starting to move beneath my feet, and my mind wandered back to how the strays might have used the crystals as a source of power to keep their cities afloat. I decided it was best to hurry back the way I came before this whole room came apart.
All right, we still got this. All right, this is where we just don't have to screw up. All right. This is also what makes me a bad OS player.
The crystals also reflected the grapple beam, but as they did, they seemed to recharge the grappling device.
Okay. Yes, combo gaming. Like I tell myself, like, I've done this a lot. I've done this route quite a lot now because of the time trials, but man, doesn't stop me from just messing up. Combo gaming is so hard. I'm just not good with combo gaming. It's like the anti-life guy. If you're a life skills guy, holy heck, combo gaming. Oh crap! See, I lost my attention right there. I almost went off because I totally lost my attention. I think this game is less nerve-wracking if it had like more modern, like soft things, like more tools to, like, for example, there's no edge grabbing, right, in first person. So there's no edge grabbing, and also there's no soft approaches. So when you grapple for too long, you bounce backwards off of it. I call it headbutting because usually your head is the thing that hits it first. So all the like slight modern, like, you're not slippery either. So if you're like running against something, you don't autocorrect in this game. It legitimately, if you run towards something like this and it clips you, you come to a dead halt, and it ruins everything. Like the game is stringent enough that the jank controls make it really great, in my opinion, for people who love it. So like a speedrunner who executes all of these things, I can appreciate that they did something really, really special. Because this game does not have like modern TLCs. So I've been fighting against this game constantly. The top 5 things I dislike about this game is actually probably why it's kind of engaging to other people. It's not to me, because I'm just fighting it all the time. Like I expect, like for example, when I'm sprinting, I expect not to like randomly clip onto things. So I always like hug walls and stuff. But in this game, you kind of don't want to do a lot of things that you would typically do, like that. Like when you jump up and it just like bounces so hard in the right. Oh, dude. It's been a struggle with this game. Yeah. So. Hold. Have I ever tried Destiny? I tried Destiny 1 when it went free to play. No, not really. I wouldn't say I quote unquote tried Destiny. Not enough experience. I only play 2 live service games right now. Well, I guess Destiny is more of an expansion-based service game. However, I do not have time to keep up with something like Destiny. I know quite a bit about Destiny. Scoop. Oh, I screwed up again. No! Wait. Ah, gosh, I talked. Yep. Wait. No. Wait. Yeah, now we gotta start all over again. Yep.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me, alone in these cold, barren halls of ice. But Fred had been here, and now I could feel it. I was getting close.
If there's
Something wasn't right.
if there's
The grapple device's
anything,
energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I
if
had to
there's
look for areas
anything
where
that
ice was
demonstrates
not so thick.
that I
This
might
was
be,
going to be a challenge.
I might have problems focusing, it's whenever anyone sees me try to combo game. I struggle so much. Dang it. Yeah, you see? That aiming triggers me too. Like, one thing that modern games have, right? One thing that modern games have as a TLC is adaptive hitboxes. Like, look, this crystal is not active here. Like, if you point to this thing, right? This is what happens. I typically point at the center of an object, but in this game, this is not a valid target. This is a valid target. So it's pretty precise. It's like kind of rewarding if you're into that kind of thing. But I'm used to modern aiming schemes where the object is treated as a sphere, right? So if I'm aiming right here, that should be landing on the target. And this level had so many of this stuff that it's triggered me to no end. Like, holy
When I
heck.
drained the crystal, I suddenly felt the earth starting to move beneath my feet, and my mind wandered back to how the strays might have used the crystals as a source of power to keep their cities afloat. I decided it was best to hurry back the way I came before this whole room came apart.
Ugh. You've been playing since 2015. I say with a few buddies. You always found stuff like that fun. Fair enough. Skyrim was one of my favorites a while ago. Fair enough. Oh yeah, and I haven't seen that a lot in games. Yeah, dude. Like, this game is a struggle. This game is 2014. 2014. However, it's an indie group that I am familiar with tangentially another game that the people who programmed this and helped bring this game to life is very well known for, and it's like extra resolution. So some of the quality of life things that I've become so used to, it's become very apparent that those are my crutches. Those are the things that I normalize to. It's kind of like when OS introduced slider head timing. Now I have to retrain for slider head timing. I usually go with efficiency things, and when it becomes not those things, it takes me a really long time to readjust again. And this game has really challenged
The
me.
crystals also reflected the grapple beam, but as they did, they seemed to recharge the grappling device.
Like I'm not a spry, like incredibly accurate person nowadays. Like my hands are not that great. So this has triggered a lot of emotions. This game has triggered a lot of emotions in me. There's like micro pivoting in this game that I see so many people intuitively do, but micro pivoting is not something that I do very often. It's kind of like playing a fighting game and then seeing someone micro duck. So like all those like young sprouts like micro ducking combos and like stuff like that. I can't do that anymore. Like, or I try to, but it's just not consistent. I can't do that consistently. It confused me for a while, but I'm sure with enough of having to do it, it would. Yes. So it's become normal enough. It's just that my learning curve was really long for this game, and it's not a bad thing. Like I actually quite enjoy learning what I can't do well, right? That's the whole point of playing different games. What I clearly have learned that I don't do this very often anymore. Especially first-person parkour games. Like, kind of makes me want to play Mirror's Edge, which I haven't played. Like both the Mirror Edges. When I think of an old school first-person parkour before first-person parkour, I think of Mirror's Edge. Okay. We're a third the way through this route. Hecking combo game. My victory lap is the gauntlet challenge for this. The grapple challenge. I'm pretty convinced the grapple challenge for this one's gonna be easy. There's so many things you can gimmick on here. I even see them right now. Some potential gimmicks. And that's what I mean. And that's what I mean. Oh my gosh, please. No, I'm stuck. Oh my gosh. This game, man. I'm telling you. I think in the almost like now 2 years of recording videos and whatnot, I sound like everyone else now. In this game, Oh no, 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 no. Oh my gosh, dude. Please. If there's any reactionary, oh, look at this. Like, what the heck, dude? If there's any game that I sound more like everyone else, like reactionary kind of thing, this is it. Like, I'm so far out of my element. Like, this stuff makes me nervous too. Like, what I mean is, like, even visually, I don't like doing this. I like seeing this for sure. Like, but most of the games that you like, the modern games that you play, there's like walls, right? Or aided guiding. Like, if you accidentally run off the cliff, the modern controls would like grab the cliff, you know, like grab the cliff side. So there are things that naturally occur, but this game has none of those TLCs. So like, if you accidentally run off, your character is gonna go back and try to grab the ledge. Yeah, it's open and unforgiving. It's just unhinged. And all the little like auto pathing, like for example, auto pathing works too. Like, I don't know if people notice these things, but when you're walking in a modern game, if you're starting to not walk in a straight line and you're going off the edge, there's actually slight self-correcting to the right. Like, many games have slightly self-correcting movements that prevent you from just like slightly falling off. And all these edges are flat edges. So if they're two uneven surfaces, they're treated as two straight flat edges, and you can get airborne just by walking across uneven surfaces, which doesn't happen in a modern title. Your characters step down. They magnet up and magnet down across uneven surfaces. Why is that important? When you're in the air, if you're trying to power leap, if you're in the air, it eats the input. Like, so you can miss a jump if you accidentally walk across a surface and it's uneven. I just completely missed a jump. The jump just doesn't exist. And that was one of the earlier things that triggered me to no end. Like, I got so triggered. Okay. This is where I failed yesterday. Twice. You've never noticed any game that you've played? You need a game that has a lot of stairs. And it's often, the most noticeable types of games are like games that you do exploration in, like active exploration in. So like when you're walking upstairs, is your character like walking in a straight line and just gliding up, or is it like the character model is going through steps, right? Or like if you run really fast, for example, if you're walking downstairs, if you run really fast, all the character does is just walk in a straight line and fall down, as opposed to walk down the stairs. Like, it lines up with the stairs and walks down. A lot of MMOs just cut the corner, and if your speed is so far, you ramp off, even though technically you'll be falling downward, down the stairs. This game, if you walk off in a slight edge, you become airborne. You don't magnet downward, down slopes and stuff, which is a modern thing. A very dynamic modern control scheme. That's also why modern games feel extra clunky to me. They filter user input too much for my taste. Also have a limited customization for it. That's fair. I guess it's more accessible when it's that streamlined, but I don't know. Here's a good example of a game that you would find that is not clunky if you played it. Jet Set Radio, or anything that deals with grinding or wall running. If you don't have what I just described, you can't do all of that reliably. So think of a game that wall runs. it's the same type of mechanic. It magnets the movement to that wall. Like, imagine if wall running doesn't adjust the momentum while you're running. So the direction you're approaching a wall run, if you approach in this direction, you fall down. But most modern games now, when you hit a wall run, it immediately adjusts the momentum, the direction of the momentum of the walls. So what is a great example of that? Any Call of Duty game that features wall running. Like, if you have unhinged movements, if you think you don't need these things and it becomes clunky, double jumping is the same. Double jumping has an element of correction on it. Like, this game doesn't have it. So if you're jumping in one direction, like if you power leap, you're off in that direction. That's it. Like, in fact, that might be an example of you, a clunkiness for you, where like if you jump and you can't adjust your momentum in air, that this game doesn't have much of that. You can do it on very specific things, but the times you want to adjust your momentum, it's not the time you can. And this would be a great example of that. This part. I'm doing like micro bobbing.
I landed hard and felt the impact vibrate through my body.
Get well soon,
protected
Scoop.
me, but
Sorry to
it
hear that
was
you feel a little
in
sick.
bad shape. The rocket boots were worst off. The crash had ruined the functionality completely. I knew that if I stayed here to fix them, I would probably freeze to death.
I almost
had no other
freaking
choice
jumped
than to
off.
press on.
It's okay. I just need to stay calm, right? It sounds so easy. Just stay calm. Stay calm. Don't let the game eat your inputs, right? Which this game does. It eats your inputs a lot. Oh, another modern control thing? No buffering. So, because this game is gives you charges for grappling and stuff, the grappling is restricted to 3. That's incredibly restrictive based on how much you have to platform, and there's no like noise. So it's far more precision based.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me.
It's almost like the
alone
game is
in these
self-aware.
cold, barren halls of ice.
Into
But
the
Fred
caves
had been
again.
here, and now
There you go.
I could feel it.
There's
I
no
was
cliff
getting
grabbing.
close. Something wasn't right.
This game
The
has no
grapple
cliff
device's
grabbing.
energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I had to look for areas where the ice was not so thick. This was going to be a challenge.
Yep. Now I'm triggered. There's no cliff grabbing.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me, alone in these cold, barren halls of ice. But Fred had been here, and now I could feel it. I was getting close. Something wasn't right. The grapple device's energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I had to look for areas where the ice was not so thick. This was going to be a challenge.
I mapped out this route intentionally to compensate for quote-unquote the unhinged stuff.
When I drained the crystal, I suddenly felt the earth starting to move beneath my feet, and my mind wandered back to how the strays might have used the crystals as a source of power to keep their cities afloat. I decided it was best to hurry back the way I came before this whole room came apart.
And usually, and we're not talking about like one-to-one, right? Modern controls can make things feel less clunky and more clunky. It's up to, I think the key word you're saying, Worm, is customization. Because if it's only clunky in modern controls, is because it doesn't fit to your playstyle. This game is technically could be interpreted as modern controls in 2014. It doesn't fit to my playstyle. A lot of times I agree with you that modernization does not come with customization.
Also reflected the grapple beam, but as
and I totally agree.
They seemed to recharge
with the customization device. For games like these, like if it's a performance-based game that you're trying to execute something, I will most definitely stack it to my advantage. It will only feel clunky because I'm not used to it. And right now, since I'm not used to it, it's very awful. Yeah, streamlining, it is the sake of, streamlining can be modern. But generally, this game is so streamlined, it lacks customization as well. So it's not just modern games that lack customization. And the stuff that I'm talking about are all the things that are present in today's game that prevents noise from happening. Like walking off cliffs, expecting your character model to reactively grab things. That stuff is would be considered a modernization. Being able to turn them off or on is a developer's choice. And obviously, this game came after Halo, right? Halo has a lot of the modernizations in first person that I already mentioned. So I don't necessarily think how customized it is dictates how modern it is or how streamlined it is. It's just the stuff that is here I don't play with too often anymore. I don't play not expecting to grab ledges, which I keep forgetting. So I would like naturally end up jumping near a ledge and expecting my character to pull themselves up, which I need to stop doing that because that's legitimately causing me to fail. Okay. Oh my gosh. Oh my goodness. Hold. Okay. Okay, it's fine. It's fine. Alternative path. That was the targeting thing again. It missed the crystal, then I immediately went for the other thing, and then it double tapped on that thing instead. I lost all my grappling charges. All right. Okay.
I landed hard and felt the impact vibrate through my body. The suit had protected me, but it was in bad shape. The rocket boots were worst off. The crash had ruined the functionality completely. I knew that if I stayed here to fix them, I would probably freeze to death. I had no other choice than to press on.
Not like this. I got stuck. Hmm. I'm legitimately taking the most conservative approach to this. I still have two trouble spots coming up. That's not really that consistent.
I found another one of Fred's campsite, noticeably newer than the others. The fire was still smoldering. and I could faintly pick up the smell of the aftershave he always used. I was closing in on him. I could feel it. He had left some tools behind that I could use to repair my boots. That should do it. Good as new.
Oh my gosh. Like, I've already done all this in a time trial, like really quickly, but now I'm just like extra nervous.
Buried beneath the ice, you could still see signs of what this place had once been.
Hey.
Something not unlike the caves where the village lay. The ice age must have come suddenly, washing over it like a freezing tsunami. Now it lay desolated, haunting anyone who dared visit, with falling stalactites, sharp icicles, and its bottomless depths.
Yeah. Okay. Freaking headbutting. I'm basically doing my time travel approach in slow-mo. As slow as I can. Oh, I wonder if you can gimmick this. We're not going to try it here, but I'm pretty sure you can probably... I'm pretty sure you can gimmick across there. Oh, if you can, that would be heckin' awesome. I hate this portion. Before, I totally forgot about my jet boots.
Fred had come this way alone, too.
Okay.
I took some comfort in knowing that whatever problems I faced now, Fred would have faced them too, and beaten them. If he could do it, I could do it too.
Right. All right. We're good. I can breathe now. We'll watch the ending, actually.
It was dark all around me, but there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
Say hi to Fred.
Hello? Nephew?
Uncle Fred, I finally found him.
My little boy. I'm glad to see you. And you're wearing the suit I made you. But how can you be here?
I said that I found the suit in his workshop and that I came looking for him.
I'm sorry for being away for so long. But I've been busy down here, you see. The frog people. That was an experiment of mine. Do you remember the eggs I found before? I sent them here by accident, and I had to follow. By the time I got here, they were already growing. These caves were empty before, but my experiment has made them full of life. I've conducted research on them and documented everything about them. And I built a new crystal-powered pad to be able to get back to my colleagues, show them how fantastic this all is.
I interrupted Fred and told him about Maddie, how we came all the way to Starhaven together, and that I had promised to ask him if he would go see her there.
Madeline. My little Maddie. I should have taken her to see Starhaven long ago. She was always so curious about the strays. Well, I left her. I wanted to protect her. Or rather, protect myself from losing her. I've changed my mind. I'm not going home. What does research or praise matter when I can be here with these creatures? They need me. And it's just as well. I don't trust this pad for more than one ride anyway. You need that ride.
I didn't want to go home, and I asked if I could stay with him and Maddie instead.
I'm sorry, nephew. As much as I enjoy having you here, you must go home. Explore the world on your own. Have your own adventures.
I reluctantly agreed to go home. I was going to miss my uncle.
I will miss you too. But I'm sure you'll do phenomenal on your own. And don't worry about me or Maddie. We'll be fine. The pad is yours, boy. When you're ready.
Nope. Let's just head this way. You know? Nope. Nope. Can't walk the other way around. Okay. Let's go in. It's a pretty short story. Kind of nice. I do like the Starhaven. This is the theme that comes up when you first open into Starhaven. Was this the game that had the incredibly long... Oh no. No. This one didn't have incredibly long credits. Unfinished Swan had really long credits. And then there's an epilogue.
The end. Now, good night, sweetie.
Wait, Dad. Does that mean Fred is still there?
Who knows? That was the last time I saw him.
Don't you miss him?
I do, sometimes. But I don't worry about him, because I know that wherever he is, he's on his biggest adventure yet.
Yeah, this is the epilogue.
Dear Fred, today I step into the lobby of your house for the last time. My daughter asked me to tell her about an adventure, and I came to think of you. Your house looks just like my mother and I left it years ago. After you'd gone, I was sure she was going to throw out all your stuff, but she just cleaned up. We made you a small memorial. For a while, I came here every day, just like I used to. Sometimes, I could even faintly hear your voice, calling from the observatory, asking me to get you this tool or that. I never told my mother about that day. I don't think she would have believed me. Can I believe it? After all these years.
The story is fantastic. Just leaves me wanting more. Quite a lot more, actually.
Uncle Fred, thanks to you, I have found an even greater adventure. Thank you. Love, your nephew.
I don't know if we ever found out what's his name. Or even his daughter's name. Even greater adventure, which is you have a kid, which is pretty wholesome. All right, last thing to do. This is where we see how gimmicky we can get. This is where we gimmick.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me, alone in these cold, barren halls of ice. But Fred had been here, and now I could feel it. I was getting close. Something wasn't right. The grapple device's energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I had to look for areas where the ice was not so thick. This was going to be a challenge.
Oh boy. This part's gonna take a while. Oh, one thing that I haven't been used to the moment I realized how sensitive this game is to parkouring is looking down, like where you're landing. Oh man. That is one thing that is very different from other like subgenres. A lot of times people might think like, oh no, I do a lot of first person stuff, lots of first person movements and whatnot. Yeah, but what about landing on things? Oh gosh. It's gonna take a little bit. The nice thing is we don't have to worry about falling now. feel like I can make it over there, right? Nah. Oh, I could have, yeah. I could make it over there, okay.
When I drained the crystal, I suddenly felt the earth starting to move beneath my feet, and my mind wandered back to how the strays might have used the crystals as a source of power to keep their cities afloat. I decided it was best to hurry back the way I came before this whole room came apart.
It's okay. It's okay. This is all part of the plan. Right? Oh, no. Alright. Man. I was kind of hoping it, like, reset me on the other side. I thought I could gimmick this. Is this far enough? Ah, man. So it probably has something to do with the loading. So if I like really quickly double back. I knew that was gonna happen. This is gonna suck. I'm gonna trigger that. I have to trigger that.
Into the caves again, and now it was just me.
There's
alone
no way I
in these
can
cold, barren
expend that
halls
many
of ice.
grapples.
But Fred had been here, and now I could feel it. I was getting close. Something wasn't right. The grapple device's energy beam was somehow reflected off of the ice, and I couldn't get a grip. I had to look for areas where the ice was not so thick. This was going to be a challenge. When I drained the crystal, I suddenly felt the earth starting to move beneath my feet, and my mind wandered back to how the strays might have used the crystals as a source of power to keep their cities afloat. I decided it was best to hurry back the way I came before this whole room came apart.
That's how you trigger it. So you don't... you have to head back really quickly. I'm willing to sacrifice that grapple. That is a skip. Okay, I have an idea here.
The crystals also reflected the grapple beam, but as they did, they seemed to recharge the grappling device.
Nah. We'll do this normally. Oh, I screwed up. That's okay. That's fine. As long as we don't grapple, it's okay. I feel like you can get above there. I'm pretty confident you can get above the thing. I wonder if I can... There's a save point here, so... Okay. Alright. We can totally gimmick this. I can totally see this working. Hold up. Okay. Okay. Can I grab? Oh, no. We can totally grab that, right? And skip all of this? Okay. Maybe we can't. Hold up. Maybe by... If I grab this and then launch over. Nice. Alright, we saved like 3 grapples there. Okay, Wait. Oh. Wait. Okay, okay. No! Okay. Okay. Hold up. Hold up. I have no idea where I am. Oh, maybe we can... Okay. 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 I think we saved a few grapples there. Possibly. Is this the one where we turn around? No. Nope. Okay. Can I land on this? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. More grapples saved. Okay, this might be a little risky. Okay. Okay. Wait. Not like this! Game. Game. Why are you such a pep? Alright. We got it. What? Dude. How deep do you have to get? Oh my gosh. What? Dude. I swear this game. It's so freaking toxic. Am I like permanently locked to sliding? Like what? What the heck, dude? How deep do you have to get? Alright. Okay. Well, that was a struggle and a half. Okay. So maybe like 6 more grapples? Plus 6? We totally can land on this little rock here. Yes. Okay. I see a rock. Actually, might not even need it. Oh, we did need it. Okay, fair enough. Oh, of course. Yeah. It's okay. There's a save point there. We can experiment. What if... Really? I wasn't able to jump at all. Like, it just slid off. Hold up. I refuse to believe this is not... This is we can do this. I wonder if I can get up here. Oh. Oh, yes. Uh-oh. We're fine. We're totally fine. Oh! Oh, no. Hold. It's fine. Oh, wait. Is there a save point here? There isn't. Okay, there's a checkpoint down there, I think. Maybe. No. There's a checkpoint up here. Yeah, this one's gonna be easy. Like, we're basically cutting the whole course, really. Of course I headbutted. Of course. Okay. Hey, this is emergent gaming right here. I like this challenge when the thing is more dynamic, so you can like mess around. There's a save point here, so let's see if we can. Is there like a surface somewhere? Dang it. Okay. Perhaps we'll just do this. We'll use the grapples for this one. I don't want to explore the cliffside. I'm sure there's probably like a platform somewhere that I could use. But let's just do this the old-fashioned way. Okay. I have... Wait, what's the number of grapples do I have? It's like 115 or something. I think we're already pretty much ahead. Yeah. 114. It has to be less than 115. Yeah, I think we're okay. Wait a minute. Hold up. I'm curious if it's possible to get across. It's just slightly out of range. It must be like pixel perfect. Or not? Alright, I guess we'll just do it the way. I was trying to see if I could get in through here, this opening.
I landed hard and felt the impact vibrate through my body. The suit had protected me, but it was in bad shape. The rocket boots were worst off. The crash had ruined the functionality.
You can actually land on
completely.
this. Oh.
I knew that if I stayed here to fix them, I would probably freeze to death. I had no other choice than to press on.
I'm pretty sure you can land on these things. I've done it before. Oh, okay, never mind. Yeah, let's not be like super gimmicky. No rocket boots. So no rocket boots on this section. I was kind of hoping there's rocket boots on this section. So we're definitely gonna have to gimmick this. Like, maybe we can stand on this? Yes. Rip. Okay. So... okay. There's no way, right? Nope. Oh boy. Oh my gosh. That was my fault. Oh, we gotta make sure we don't hit the ceiling either. If I ever play like a Super Mario game, this is probably I'm probably gonna move like this, and then it's gonna be the hardest thing I've ever done. Imagine platforming like Mario like this. It's so slow. Wait. Hold. Okay. I gotta make sure I don't headbutt the ceiling. Because if I headbutt the ceiling, everything gets wrecked. So we're really close to the ceiling. Okay. Alright. It's fine. I hope I get some free grapples here. Like, what I mean is doing it this way. I hope these were free grapples. As in, they were expecting me to grapple, but I didn't. So I gained grapples. Because I'm not keeping track at all. Is there any way to... Okay. I was so confident with that jump. I think I'll take this one though. I definitely am going to take this shortcut. I saw another grapple point that I don't want to make, so okay. No gimmicks here. I can probably jump up here though. Yep. Okay. And this part we have to go in. I don't know if we needed that third grapple. I don't think we need that third grapple. Okay. This feels more like how much I the stuff that I like about like alternative challenges. Like it's an alternative
I
path
found
of
another
climbing.
one of Fred's campsite, noticeably newer than the others. The fire was still smoldering, and I could faintly pick up the smell of the aftershave he always used. I was closing in on him. I could feel it. He had left some tools behind that I could use to repair my boots. That should do it. Good as new.
Like I like this kind of stuff. The other stuff with the grappling challenge and stuff is more like refinement and not like alternative path kind of deal. Even when you're janking this up a little bit, this level is far more interesting to me. Because you can mess around. Huh. And you're always asking yourself, can I get up there? So we have to get there. I don't know if there was a save point. There it is. It's not like the chasm or sanctuary. Nope. There are no surfaces there. So, but what happens if where does this lead? Like, what's up here? What? Oh. That's not bad. It's the same amount. Same number. I thought I was being
Buried
clever.
beneath the ice, you could still see signs of what this place had once been. Something not unlike the caves where the village lay. The ice age must have come suddenly, washing over it like a freezing tsunami. Now it lay desolated, haunting anyone who dared visit, with falling stalactites, sharp icicles, and its bottomless depths.
Oh no. I gotta make sure I don't fall here. It's fine. Okay. Okay. Just taking my time. The stalactite section is gonna be... Wait. Hold up. Wait. Did we save? Yes. I feel like you can skip this section. Hold up. Oh yeah. Oh. Oh my gosh. That's so amazing. Oh boy. Okay, okay, okay. It's fine. It's fine. Yeah, we can totally skip. We can totally skip the whole thing. That's so funny. Okay, this stuff is fun as heck. Okay, this last level is incredibly fun. It is definitely a different way to play it. Man. Oh man, you could have just... I could have just speed cut that. I wouldn't even have to practice the stalactite thing. It's actually pretty easy to do that one. See, that's what's really missing. Oh no. Uh hmm. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. Fine. There's no checkpoint. So if I screw up. Okay, it's fine. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I just clenched a little there. Here's the save point. Okay. All right. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Okay. Hmm. I mean, I might as well. Hmm. I can't believe I can't hit that. I just wasted a grapple there. I can't believe that didn't land. That's baloney right there. Oh yeah, I forgot. I don't need to grapple. I can just use my... I keep forgetting about my jet boots. I'm being a pep. Okay. I was kind of hoping not to grapple twice there. That's okay. Uh... Okay. Okay, and then we have all the extra grapples here. So, just have to go... Just have to commit to this one. Wait, unless... Hold. That answers that. Okay. It's a false ceiling. Okay, I think I'm good. I'm... Oh, I could have just used my jet boots there. I'm pretty convinced I got that under 115. Pretty sure this is under 115. There's no way, right? No way I used 115 grapples.
It was
There
dark
it is.
all around me, but there was a light at the end of the tunnel.
We did it. That's it. We did it. It took so much longer. Hold up. Let's double check. There it is. Oh, man. I gotta collect my thoughts a little bit here. I thought the music played here. Does the music not play here? Anyways. So, time for some closing remarks, right? So, what do I think about a story about my uncle? Let's see what it has. Let's go down our checklist, right? Let's talk about the facts about this game. So, run through. When you're playing just to the first playthrough, I would say conservatively 3 hours. Probably like 2-hour average. You learn the ropes, right? It's an incredibly lean package, like a super lean package. Actually, let's take a look at the time of this review. It's $3. It's $3 on a discounted day, right? So 3 hours for a single playthrough. Very at the time of this closing remark, it's $3 on discount. So definitely a wonderful first-person parkour game. I think it gives you that sense of feeling that isn't necessarily, let's just highlight something that's probably similar to this, but not necessarily in this way. Say like a Spider-Man game, right? Insomniac's games have a lot of dealing with swinging. And we're just saying Insomniac's games because it's the latest thing, because Spider-Man 2 was released this year, right? So it's definitely not Spider-Man 2. However, it gives you that feeling of grappling and swinging, and this game is pretty unhinged when it comes to grappling. Like, so much so that it worked against me. I follow clues and like design choices, and it definitely reminded me of how much I have become reliant on modern designs, like modern level designs. This game has those elements of those things, like, you know, blue icons here and there and stuff tell you where you can grapple. But this game is pretty unhinged when it comes to grapple mechanic, for better or for worse, or however you. It's a really novel experience. So, what are the facts? This is an old game. Like, what I mean by old game is not literally old. It's 2014. I wouldn't say it's the oldest game that features a robust first-person parkouring thing. I think it's very unhinged design. So unhinged design tends to be a little bit more reminiscent of an older design, as opposed to what we just talked about earlier today about the coincidence between modernization and streamlining, right? So most of those designs, if you want to trip down memory lane, but the game isn't like 2001 and it's a first-person parkour game, I think this is a great example of an unhinged older building philosophy. Where if you think it's jank, you can jank it. You can probably jank it, right? And that leads to that whole. It's a short game. It's, one could argue it's linear, quote unquote linear, right? However, it is so unhinged, you can jank the heck out of it. Like what I just did now, that was improvisational. I had no idea that was gonna work. And it just pop onto, you fall through like ceilings, like this is a false bottom, that's a false top. There was, I think one of my favorite moments was in Village. One of the collectibles was in this gigantic spiral to the top. And my thought the whole time when I was going is that I'm going to clip through the roof. Like, there's no way something's up here. I'm going to clip through the roof. And sure enough, right at the top was a collectible. So while this game is really short, right? Runtime between 2 hours and 3 hours, it is so unhinged. I really loved it. Like, it's so unhinged. It challenges me to remember what unhinged game design is like. I want to say it's restrictive in a way. So there are things that is restrictive that I had to learn to hate to love, to hate to use. Like when you do a power leap, you can't change your direct momentum in midair. There aren't double jumps, right? There are a lot of little tiny things like course corrections, collision models, auto walking, ledge grabbing, a lot of that other stuff. But the stuff it does have, it's pretty dang unhinged. And the grapple is incredible. I can't even imagine how crazy this game would be if the level design had a bigger scope. So what this game doesn't have is scope. It has, you can see it being very big in scope, right? I actually think that playing this, it makes me kind of want to play a game that deals with swinging and parkouring, but it's not going to feel the same. It's not going to be as unhinged. Modernized stuff these days have things to catch you, and that's where my frustration came from. Like, it's so unhinged that it feels like I don't know what I'm supposed to do. And that might sound like something that appeals to someone who's like into FromSoft games, or a speedrunner, or someone who mainly speedrunning or routing or loving a game as much through the jank, right? For me, up to this point, I spend most of my time playing games that it's a story, it's a role, there are things I can't do, and the more restrictive it becomes, the more intellectually stimulating it is to me. I think this game so far, it's just to illustrate what a perspective shift it is for me for this game. This is, in a long time, felt like there is potential for emergent gaming. And I haven't played a game that had a lot of emergent gaming in a while. I love playing and understanding what the developers want me to see. Like, I love to get into the head of the developers. So the more restrictive a game is, the more a game forces me to think a certain way, play with certain restrictions. It's great. Now, this game, ironically though, actually did the same way. It literally did the same thing, only it's in a different way. Like, what I mean is to get me to think outside, like, a different way. It is restrictive, but it's restrictive in the opposite way, as in it taxed me to be creative. Like, it taxed me to squeeze out their unhinged system. And sure enough, the beginning I was more okay with, actually. Sanctuary Village, Chasm, because they were so restrictive, I do had to execute, right? And I didn't like that part. However, it was restrictive enough that I could squeeze one grapple here and there, one grapple here and there. And then I realized I do quite enjoy. I missed the gaming that allows me for emergent problem solving. Like have an unhinged system that allows me to be creative to solve the problem, right? And Starhaven and Ice Cave totally highlighted that. Like, these were joys. And the setting, Starhaven, is a standout. It's just an absolute standout. If they had more islands everywhere, like it would have been amazing, right? The game is small in scope. It feels large in presentation. Small in scope, but large in presentation, which is an outstanding mark of an excellent indie developer, right? One thing about these developers, the fact is, what is it? Let me make sure I get the name right. Gone North Games is officially now Coffee Stain North. So they're part of the Coffee Stain big group. And their next game that they made after this, under Coffee Stain North, is Goat Simulator 3, which we know is Goat Simulator 2. It's just they decide to skip one, right? So I imagine they've gone off to do many mechanical stuff, because Goat Simulator is technically just a lot of mechanical stuff, like lots of interactions and emergent gaming, right? So I'm looking forward if they ever revisit an unhinged first-person parkour game. So this game was a really different experience. What were my thoughts about this? I really thought the story was quaint. It's on the weaker side, I would say. And it played second to parkouring. And that was what was a really pleasant surprise. It was a really aggravating surprise too. Like, I was frustrated, I was angry. I can't tell you how many times over the course of 7 sessions I've said headbutt, or this is just the way the game is. Like, great, the collision, it ate my inputs. Like, I can't even count how many times I've said it ate my inputs, right? So, and it was great. I think being subverted by a story, because the title of the game is called A Story About My Uncle, right? And I was expecting a really wonderful, profound, like, light parkouring segment. It is overall. Like, if you weren't doing the Steam achievements and the extras, which is still part of the Steam achievements, if you weren't doing those things, it would be a light 2-hour affair, maybe 4 hours to get all the little collectibles and stuff and see the story, right? Like, there are optional story pieces, and they were really great. I think the story is just long enough and nice enough to not overstay the parkour element, the unhinged parkour element. You have restrictive levels like Sanctuary before you get everything, and Village is a different take, and in Chasm, it took, like, all these elements did not overstay their welcome. There was a new element in every single one that dealt with the permutation of parkour. For $3, absolutely. I feel like this was unrealized. Like, there are obviously many ways to use that unhinged grappling system. Like, imagine pulling an object towards you, like grapple onto an object towards you while you're moving forward. Like, there's so many things that they could have done. And the emphasis is could have, because this is their first, it's actually, this game was one of those games again where a smaller group thought it was a great idea, conceptualized it, entered it in a gaming festival, right, of some sort. It received a lot of attention, and then it was picked up by another group that existed, Coffee Stain, which I played their Sanctum games. And then in the future, I'm going to be playing Coffee Stain's Satisfactory game, which is still in early access for the time being. And they're doing really well. So they pick up the attention, and then this group was absorbed into Coffee Stain as Coffee Stain North. I want to say Swedish. They are Swedish group. Coffee Stain Studio et al. Like is, yes, they are a Swedish group. Both the group that started this and caught the attention Coffee Stain, so they're in Sweden. This game was great. The parkour is something you have to unlearn certain things, right? This is the idea of what I talk about quite a bit about interference when learning things. When you learn a lot of things and you do a lot of things very frequently and varieties of takes on it, it can create interference. And for me, I was an emotional train wreck during this game. Like, I love the story. It's run of the mill. Intellectually, it wasn't necessarily stimulating, but it's my guilty pleasure. The whole a father figure talking about his childhood and his relationship with an elderly, mysterious uncle, right? Uncle Fred. And then he inceptionally, like in an inception moment, is telling his daughter about the role reversal, right? Like, he was the kid in the story with the uncle, while he himself is actually the role of Uncle Fred in the meantime talking to his daughter. There's a wonderful narrative approach, and I love the little tidbits with Madeline, right? Madeline and looking at the bigger picture of things. It's very fairy tale-ish. It talked about orthodoxy, right? It talked about xenophobia. There were many little, like, they were deep cuts. There are hot takes and deep cuts all over the place. I could talk about it for days, but we'll save it for another session. Let's just hit some of the themes. Feeling of belonging, right? Inventive minds versus, like, open-minded versus closed-minded. Xenophobia. And orthodoxy, like traditionalism. Adventure, right? Adventure. Youth. Lots of youthful spirit. And then sacrifice. Lots of sacrifice. And all that was wrapped up in, like, probably 30 minutes of dialogue. And it's really nice. I wouldn't say that took a back seat. It unexpectedly took a back seat to the parkouring. So most of my experience, like I would say 80% of my experience, deal with the parkouring. It's unhinged. It has a lot of quirkiness, and I would define it as clunkiness. And that clunkiness is its charm. It's unhinged, but it's also clunky. And I had to get used to a lot of that thing. When it works, like when I click with the clunk, right? Click with the clunk and snap with the unhinged, I was feeling great. The problem for me is emotionally, the challenges require you to be on point nearly 100% of the time until you got to the last two. I think Starhaven and Ice Cave nailed it for me. The beginning one is like you have to be on point. So you're effectively speedrunning. Like Sanctuary, you were definitely speedrunning. Like that took me a while. Chasm, you were speedrunning with the gimmicks. Like no glitch. It's kind of like the contrast between, I know I'm saying this very casually because I'm not a speedrunner, but Sanctuary is the most casual speedrun, no glitch speedrun feeling you can get. Village is that one where like it's fashion over function, because Village was about the spiraling like the way it's laid out was for exploration, right? Looking at scenery, and naturally that means that the level design is not stringent, it's super loose. So that thing was like a blitz. It was a one take for Village. Then you get to Chasm and you're starting to do the glitch stuff, right? You need to go off the beaten road, cut some corners, wrap around some invisible walls. I did as minimal as possible with that. And it took me a while. And you had to execute. And then it opened up. Like the thing just opened up. After you got the jet boots. Like Starhaven, the beginning was rough. And then you hit the 1/3 section, you get the jet boots, and things just roll with it. And an ice cave became ultimate unhinged. And I love that. I kind of miss this. It kind of makes me want to play more first-person parkour games. Maybe not so much for the combo gaming. Those Steam achievements were rough. Maybe adding 10% more grapple count. So that's like one extra grapple for like the first 3, technically Sanctuary and Chasm, and then these two maybe I would actually even argue reduce the grapple count for Starhaven Ice Cave if they really wanted to even it out. However, that's just little things, because this is an indie game and it's really good. I think it's awesome. It's so remarkably wonderful for a first-person parkour game that I'm looking forward to playing another one. And the closest one I can think of that combines some of the things I like with kind of this speedrunning thing is, and I will be playing this in the future, is Neon White, an Annapurna Interactive published game. I don't remember who the dev is. But this is a primer for Angel Matrix. So this gets me like excited and pumped for this type of thing again, right? So I think Neon White is probably the segue here for playing a story about my uncle, right? At some point down the line. So this game, first person parkour, was very, very lean, super lean, and there's some exploration, but not in the traditional sense of exploration, not in like a storytelling per se. There is some light collectibles and storytelling stuff off the beaten path, but they're more naturally on an extended main path. So not exploration in the sense of lore, mythos, and main storylines. It's more exploration in an unexpected way, which is how can you maximize the unhinged first-person parkour. So if you're someone who isn't into that and just into how can you maximize mechanics and the possibilities of just a really restrictive box, but you want to break that box open, that's what the exploration part is in this game. So with that said, what is this game for? Who is this for? Anyone who just wants a really, really super light mechanical game. And all the lack of quality of life stuff. Like you can't skip cutscenes and stuff and whatnot. All of that bundled up in just an old school mechanical game with a light dialogue in there. Heck, I'm not even sure if people know how to like glitch the cutscenes and bypass the cutscenes. I can imagine there's probably some sort of combination of inputs and jerry rigging that you can probably speed cut the cutscenes in a way. I wouldn't be surprised. The game has a lot of positional shenanigans that you can do. Like when a cutscene initiates, you can jet boots while the cutscene is initiated, so you're like untethered movement still. Things like that. Anyways, I would love to see. I might go look at a speedrun of this, see what it's like. Is it just ye old honesty most of the time? I doubt it. I really doubt it. So if you're into like a short game, unknown game, and you like your mechanics lighter on the story, this is it. I still love the story, by the way, the little details and stuff. They really maximized it. It just took up such a small percentage of the actual gameplay. So that's what the game is for. If you're into a 3-hour bop and you're willing to pay $1 an hour, right? This is it. This is a great first-person parkour game. It is so punishing. It is so brutal that you got to get with the program beforehand. It's so mechanics forward. This game is so mechanics for it. I can't even describe to you how touchy the grappling is. It's not for me. I'm not a technical precision player. So like that technical precision shot me in the foot like so often. I think it's ballooned double my playtime. I would say I failed on one mistake in the last 8 hours. I have failed on one mistake 7 of the hours. Like right now the game clock, including all the times I rant, it's about 13 hours. The game runtime, I would say 5 hours. 5 or 6 hours if it wasn't predicated on one mistake. Every task in this game that's beyond the main task, which is 2 hours, is one mistake prone. It's singular mistakes. And that's true in its right combo gaming. So if you're a precision mechanics player, this game's for you. You could care nothing about the story. It doesn't really, besides becoming an impediment, right? Like having to punish you for seeing the cutscene again. In fact, I actually think mechanical people find that even more motivating a lot of times. Like if they screw up, they're gonna have to see that cutscene again. For me, I actually kind of like that cutscene happening again. The downside is whenever that cutscene happens, it distracts me from my task. So I naturally get out of a groove. It's already tough enough for me to combo game 2 or 3 minutes without my attention snapping to something. You slap a 30-second cutscene in the middle that's mandatory, then I'm screwed. And it was pretty obvious. Like day 3 and 4 with Chasm, it was brutal. Like I was, even as a person who loves to keep on reviewing cutscenes and dialogues and try to find new things, I ran out of new things to say about those cutscenes. They're only as intellectually interesting as like 7 or 8 different runs through, and I was like pushing 16 to 20 attempts. So if you're a mechanical precision player, this is the brutal endurance. It's so shockingly brutally enduring. It's like opposite of casual, unexpectedly. But if you're here to just enjoy a little run through it, you might find something here. I think it's definitely a game. It's one of those things you can see on HGDQ. Like if someone just want to break out a random speed run that no one asked for and make it look like it's exciting and impressive. Surprisingly, a story about my uncle is pretty apt. So for those people, for the story people, as long as you're not a completionist like me, my emotional ambivalence, my anger, my frustrations, my need for learning, that's why I had an emotional frustration. Because I'm a completionist and I like learning and forcing myself to do things to get an emotional feeling out of it. That's why I say I'm angry. I was angry, frustrated, complaining, and whining with a smile. Because I don't normally get to do that. I play games, I talk about whatever their design choices and all that stuff. It's more intellectually forward. I rarely have an emotional interaction. So this one was different. It hit very different for me. I don't think it's for anyone who has my interest though, outside of the whole learning thing. Like if you're into a story game, like a casual story game, it's not enough. It's not enough for those people. Like the story practically ends when it started. It has some great beats, but it's like a singular tether. It's a really loose tether with so much opportunity. However, the parkour is probably a little bit more hardcore than for individuals who are looking for a different type of experience. So it's kind of middling. It's a little bit middling for anyone outside of a mechanical focus thing. So, to wrap up today, right? Personally, and this is going to be weird, but I'm going to give the game an 8. A 7, 6 or 7 for story. but it's a pretty good one. It has a lot of potential. And then a 9 for unexpectedly making me gruelingly want to do something more mechanically focused. Suddenly, it made me realize a lot of things that I don't do anymore, which is to think of new strategies or new things, or have the patience to test flexible systems. However, with that, it's a higher score that gets balanced out to an 8, is because now I want to play a first person parkour game. I also want to play an unhinged puzzle game. And what I mean by unhinged puzzle games, the puzzlers that I have played recently deal with light aspects of restricted systems, right? Very restricted systems. But now I'm thinking more like Talos Principle too, right? Talos, the sequel, or things that might be unhinged enough that you're just gonna be wanting to test. The one thing that kind of almost brings this down to a 7 is because the challenges and achievements aren't necessarily designed in a way that you can customizingly achieve the runs in a more organic way that's prone to different learners. So for example, you have to start back from the beginning every single time. Like, it's a combo game, and a combo game while trial and erroring and learning the segments. You can't break the segments up very naturally, right? Like, level select is just to the beginning. And then the checkpoints are in a weird like a weird way where it doesn't quite line up to certain places, right? And then you can't fast restart and things like that, right? So for me, those things would elevate this game if they intended it to be such a speedrunning mechanical game. The Steam achievements, I don't know if they were added after the fact or they were added with the game. But clearly, in terms of his design choice and unknown, like the unhinged nature, I imagine it was supposed to be mechanically forward. So there are some TLCs that kind of, for me, including them is kind of nice. And it really doesn't take away or make the experience any less grueling. It takes away a lot of the downtime, like cutscene skips and all that jazz, right? I think for people who know that they're getting into a parkour, unhinged parkour precision game, I think this would be a 9 for them. Like, yeah, the story is light, but generally precision games have light stories. Like, oh yeah, that's kind of cute, that's good enough. Like, actually, sometimes not having it at all is more desirable for mechanical forward people. So I would say they probably think around a 9. I imagine like the Steam reviews, the ones that highlight how great of a parkour system or untapped potential the system has as a mechanical highlight, they probably highly recommend it. And I would say 9 out of 10 people who are mechanically forward would find this very approachable. And then for people like me, between a 7 and an 8, because you're not really looking to squeeze out the mechanical side. You're looking for that profound mix of ambiance, some slight tugs and different dimensions of feelings. I'm on the 8 side because it helped me learn a little bit about a lot of things that I don't do anymore in video games. And now it kind of makes me want to do them more. So I'm probably going to sooner rather than later after this game, before this game. So like I'm gonna likely play sooner than if I hadn't played this game. And kudos to Gone North Games, and now like Coffee Stain North, right? All right, so there you have it. 7 days, but really 6 days of whining and complaining and just pure frustration. Like I can't. I mean, I don't usually. I'm not very expressive when I'm angry or something. I usually just use my words. So if I repeat something over and over again, it usually means I'm a little bit frustrated with it, right? If I can't explain why I keep repeating the same error and I keep saying I'm doing the same error, I'm actually pretty frustrated. I just don't yell and swear and like throw things across the room very often. That's part of like the gate discipline thing. If I tell someone like I'm really angry, then I actually feel a lot of anger inside. Only I'm not going to project it onto someone. So if I'm ever really, really angry, I'll probably tell you 3 or 4 times, this is really annoying. Oh, I can't even tell you how many times I said, this is BS. Like, I probably said that at least 40 times when I was trying to figure out the chasm thing. Like, this is brutally BS. It's ridiculous. It's absurd. All those phrases, the more often I say it, it's probably because I'm emotionally compromised. When I start repeating the same lines over and over again, I'm flustered, right? So that this game definitely got me to that, and it was nice. Like in retrospect, most of these experiences are pretty nice. It's a great learning experience. It helps me get into contact with my emotional intelligence side, or whatever, however emotionally intelligent I am. It doesn't break down the barrier though. No matter how angry I am or frustrated or something, I use my words. I don't use my literal physical being. So I could be really, really angry at someone, but I wouldn't ever project that anger, like literally. I wouldn't hit something or throw something. It's one of those things that games like these or experiences like these help me internalize it. I know why I was angry. I know why I was frustrated, at least from my perspective. And I know what the game has and what it appeals to. Knowing all that, generally speaking, even though I'm like emotionally compromised, it rarely leads to an outward projection of terror and frustration. I don't know. Perhaps when I look back on this, maybe some people who find this a little bit interesting, they might tell me different. They might be telling me like, oh, yo, dude, you were so toxic and stuff. That would be news to me. But generally speaking, I probably didn't say anything really nasty or something. I probably repeated myself a couple times over and over again. And that was nice. It was a different experience. Thank you for that. Gone North Games. Coffee Stain North of Coffee Stain Publisher, right? That was nice. Solid 8. Solid 8. All right. As always, thanks for listening, folks. Thanks for hanging out. If you're going to watch this later, thanks for watching. As always, feel free to comment, share, and discuss your experiences with maybe emotionally compromising games. Did you complete it? Did you finish it? Did you drop it? Did you walk away? You know, reminisce about your situations and how you deal with emotionally compromised, voluntary situations. All right, so I'll be back next time with 2 new indie games that trend really, really hard this year. I'm looking forward to it. It isn't something like this. We'll take a break from something like this so I can recuperate my emotional intelligence. So until next time, stay safe, stay healthy, keep on learning and experiencing new things. Experience new old things, if you know what I mean by that. I'll catch you guys on the next one. Take care. Bye now.